All right, let's talk about the discussion videos, their purpose, and what we're hoping to get out of them. So, the discussion videos are designed to help you really hone your professional voice. The whole point of doing them is to demonstrate that you understand the ideas, show that you've prepared a little bit, and give you a chance to speak practically, to speak naturally about professional topics. The idea is that it's as if your boss has called you in to a meeting and asked you your ideas about a particular topic. So that's the kind of conversation that you'll be having with your teammates. So, very importantly, we're going to be speaking professionally and authentically. And that means you're not reading from a script. There's a pretty strong incentive for you to not read from a script, because if anyone in the team is reading from a script, the whole team loses credit for that particular discussion. And the purpose of this, again, scripts defeat the purpose. Scripts are not helping you to practice professionally discussing a particular topic. And so you've got the ability to speak naturally. You can say you can say like. You do not have to sound fancy or sound formal. You can speak like yourself. And if you need to read a citation, for example, so if you were discussing a particular topic, you've looked up a source and you wanted to read a line from that source to your team, that's completely acceptable, because just like in a conference room, that would be completely acceptable for you to look at your notes and quote something from your notes. So that's completely acceptable. But you're not going to be reading, you're going to be speaking. And again, it's not perfect, but it is professional. Before you start, the things you're going to need to do to prepare, you're going to need to do the readings. You need to look through the question to understand the question that's being asked. You need to find one or two places online, either a journal article, maybe you'll find a national professional organization that's talking about that topic. You're going to find a credible resource that has something to say on that topic, that idea, and you are going to have that in your notes prepared to be able to cite that. And then check out the rubric. Make sure you understand how you're going to be graded and get in the mindset or the headspace for feedback, because your grade is going to include whether or not you are able to critique other people's ideas and receive critique from other people. So you're going to put out an idea, and that idea might be discussed and critiqued. It might be, supported. Other people might, think that goes a long way as well. But you've really got that mindset. You need to get into that mindset before the discussion that the ideas are going to be spoken about, talked about, and really given feedback. And then once you're on camera, so once you are recording, whether it's on Zoom or another platform where you're all on camera and the screen can be recorded, you've got a leader, someone who's signed up as the leader for that particular question. That person's going to make sure everybody's on track. And then your job is to listen to your team members and then respond to what they have to say. So your job is listening, and then you're going to respond with a new idea or a clarifying question, or you're going to expand the context on an idea, like someone's brought something up and you're going to say, oh, but have we thought about it in this way? And you might even invite a team member to reconsider their idea, right? So push back on a particular idea or really critique a particular idea, all with the goal of having a constructive conversation. And then finally, this is really the crux of how you're going to be graded. You've got the majority of the grade is whether or not you've demonstrated critical thinking about the particular subject, about the subject matter. Again, you do not have to speak perfectly. You do not even have to be very polished, but you have to be able to speak about it in a way that lets your professor know that you understand the material and that you can think of it from multiple angles. And then, there's several things that get, pretty big chunks. Did you use relevant sources? Do you understand the vocabulary? Did you respond to your team members? Did you keep the discussion short and concise? Each video can be no longer than 5 minutes. And then also, is it easy to follow, right? When you're presenting your ideas, it's simple to understand? Is the conversation easy to follow? And all together, that's going to give your professor the idea. Number one, do you understand it? And number two, can you speak about it professionally as if your boss has pulled you into a meeting and asked you about a particular topic? Because that's the skill that you need to be able to demonstrate with this course. All right.